Thank you for staying with us. While the wheel of justice started to grind regarding the gruesome killing of Oluwabamise Ayanwola in the bus rapid transit BRT in Lagos, the Lagos State government has arraigned the BRT driver Andrew Nice before a Lagos High Court sitting at Tafawa Balewa Square over the alleged rape and murder of his passenger Oluwabamise. The driver is facing a 4-count charge bordering on rape, conspiracy and murder. Let's share the story with you.
Andrew Nice and others said to be at large were accused of conspiring to rape and murder Bamise Ayanwola at about 1900 hours on February 26, 2022 between Lekki Ajah Expressway and Carter Bridge in Lagos. He's also accused of raping another young lady who's 29 years old last November around the Lekki Conservation Center, which is also on the Lekki Ajah Expressway. Dr. Jide Martins, who is the Director of Public Prosecutions, represented Lagos State, while Isaac Ezekwem represented the defendant. Another counsel, Ayo Ademiluyi, announced appearance for the Ayanwola family. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Dr. Jide Martins, told Justice Shonoike that there is a strong likelihood that the state government will amend the charges against the defendant, Andrew Nice, and that the post-mortem examination of Miss Ayanwola is still pending, the result of which will be brought to the court when it has been conducted. Though the defendant pleaded not guilty to the 4-counts charge, his lawyer says they will be considering an option of plea bargain.
Inviting international observers, international forensic observers, international forensic pathologists to so conduct that pathology. It is the opinion, the report of that pathology that would be of use to us. And of course, the prosecution, although we are watching brief, we can only be seen and not be heard. The prosecution also said they will be available to employ video links, which are so about that. Wonderful enough, the late Bamise Ayanwola was so gallant enough, was so resolute enough to produce serious video evidence that will be useful in this something.
The case was adjourned to May the 9th, 10th and the 11th, 2022 for trial to begin fully, and the defendant was ordered to be further remanded at the Nigerian Correctional Center in Ikoyi. Earlier in March, Yaba Chief Magistrate's Court remanded the defendant for 30 days, pending the DPP's legal advice, which has now been issued, prompting the case to be heard at the High Court, which is statutorily empowered to hear capital offences such as rape and murder. Kemi Foladiemo, TVC News, Lagos.
This Andrew is not looking nice at all.
No, there's nothing nice about this Andrew. Until the courts pronounce him guilty, we will continue to see him as an Andrew that is as clean as a sewage pit. Until the courts pronounce him clean, he would be seen by people as an Andrew just as clean as a sewage pit. So this is just the way it is. You know, this kind of crime is an emotive one. Anybody who has a daughter of that girl's age, this kind of crime will bother you so much. And at a point when people were wondering, was this driver just a victim of circumstance?
Do you understand? That's how the way I saw it initially.
Suddenly, we started.
People started coming up.
Yes, and
this particular.
Someone even went as far as providing evidence of transfer of money. After having carnal knowledge of how forcibly,
now
sent money,
3,000 naira.
Sent money. So that one is already in the public domain. That evidence is already in public. Many Andrews like him will not even give a dime. So it's not a matter of him.
It was being nice to have sent out of duty.
Maybe that is what he thinks entitled him to being called nice. But that's not. That's not how somebody who is nice behaves.
Don't we have crimes like this all over the states, and this will be like a pointer as something to serve as deterrent. People go, especially, in a state that is not well lighted, or areas are not well lighted across the city. You find a lot of, deadly activities, going on every night.
Well, even where you have good lighting and all the rest, once a man is armed, or you feel, especially as a lady, but even as a man, that even without this man bringing out any form of ammunition or arm, he's capable of taking me out, the first thing is to slow down. And that's where this issue of the courage of the lady speaks volume. There is need for everybody now, even if you are driving your own car, to be on top of some safety measures. That even if it cannot save your life, it will at least bring the criminal to justice. Because that is what a lot of families find very frustrating and painful. That somebody dies and you cannot even
no clue, no trace.
No clue, no trace, no nothing. There have been people in this Lagos who are still being sought for 10 years after. They just went out of the house and you can't find them. And it's the people who have done this are the Andrews who are not nice. They are just there, roaming all over the place.
Pretending to be nice.
Or pretending to be nice. That is why for me it is important that, especially as information is going around now, we should begin to teach people the use to which we can put our mobile phones in times of danger. Because it's important. Even if someone's life is going to go, let's even be able to get some of these criminals.
Maybe one final evidence or something.
Out of
for me, I just think that the best thing that Lagos State government can do, and the judiciary in Lagos, the best thing they can do is to expedite the trial of this fellow. Then let the coroner's report come out, the report of the pathologist, let it come out. Let's determine whether before that girl died, she was actually raped, so that all of the facts that are needed can be provided. And let this trial not take eternity, as we always see in our country.
Yes,
I always talk about Uganda, where one girl was seen to be torturing a little baby, a baby, and it caused outrage all over the world. Within a couple of months, the trial was concluded and justice was served. That's the way it should be, especially where something that concerns, that is making people hungry. Like this. You don't have to waste time.
Just like we discussed yesterday, the case of yesterday, I was coming and I listened on radio what we discussed yesterday, and two lawyers were arguing and they were fighting that, that case that went to the courts in Abia spent 10 days. The other lawyer said, no, it's 11 days. I said, so filing everything is 11 days. As the speed of light.
Nobody was aware of the hearing.
The speed of light at which they used to dispense the thing. So we want to see if the judiciary is that responsible. We want to see that same speed. It should not take time at all. Justice delayed.
The efforts of lawyers to deliberately prolong the case should be frustrated.
Should be resisted.
And judges can do a lot. Let us get to the root of this matter.
All right.
That is what we are after. We are not interested in protecting anybody. Anybody who sits there and says, these people, maybe they are protecting Lagos State government, then they don't know what they are talking about.
Story. People just sit down
and concoct and come up with opinions about us that show that you know next to nothing about us.